Hi, church. I'm Becky.
And I'm Dylan. And today's passage is from Luke chapter 9, verses 27 through 39. Our central truth today is Jesus is the King of Glory.
So last week, Jesus had told his disciples some scary things. He had told them that even though the kingdom of heaven was coming, in order for it to come to pass, Jesus would need to die. Peter loves Jesus, and he did not want to think about him dying, and he was having a difficult time accepting that fact. Jesus had also told his disciples that some of them would actually glimpse the kingdom of heaven before they died.
About a week later, Jesus took Peter, James, and John with him up to the mountain to pray. He had something important he needed to show them. When they were there, Jesus started to pray, and while he started to pray, his face started to glow and his clothes became pure white. He shone like a lightning bolt.
The disciples were amazed because they knew they were seeing God. Then Moses and Elijah appeared and started speaking to Jesus. They were talking about Jesus' upcoming death and how it would need to happen in order for God's plan to come to pass and for the kingdom of God to be established.
Peter, though, still was not understanding or liking the idea of Jesus dying. He saw Jesus in glory, and he saw the appearance of what were the equivalent of superheroes appearing, and he thought maybe if he stayed, the kingdom would be established without Jesus dying. He started to suggest that they build tents for Moses and Elijah and Jesus when a fiery cloud engulfed them.
This was the same cloud that led and spoke the Israelites in the wilderness, the same cloud that filled the tabernacle and temple in the Old Testament. This was the presence of God, or really just a small bit of presence that sinful human beings could experience, but it was enough.
James, Peter, and John were amazed and frightened. And then a voice came through the cloud telling them, "This is my beloved Son. Listen to him." It was the voice of God claiming Jesus as his son. When the cloud was gone, it was just Jesus and the disciples that were left. When they left the mountain, they did not tell anyone what had happened.
So what does this story tell us about Jesus? Well, number one, like our central truth says, it reveals Jesus as the glorious King. He had told the disciples that some of them would get to glimpse the kingdom of God before they died, and sure enough, they did. They saw Jesus shining in his heavenly glory. They interacted with the glory of God. They saw long dead men of great faith walking around and having conversations. Obviously, they didn't experience the full glory of God, but they experienced enough of it to sustain them through some difficult times ahead.
It also revealed that Jesus is the glorious sacrifice. Elijah and Moses appeared and specifically began talking to Jesus about his imminent departure from earth and how it was going to fulfill God's plan. Both Moses and Elijah spoke and foreshadowed the coming of Jesus. They were there to remove any doubt from the disciples' minds about what needed to happen for God's kingdom to be achieved.
And then finally, Jesus is the glorious Son of God. God himself appeared in his cloud of glory to claim Jesus as his son. If the words of those long dead prophets weren't enough to convince the disciples, the words of their God was. He told the disciples, listen to Jesus. Jesus was his son, and he was telling the truth. Jesus had to die in order for God's kingdom to be established.
Thank you guys for taking the time to listen to us today.
Bye.